When I look back, I think it was in my 10th year anniversary with one particular company I was with. I actually just kind of like went through it's like a timeline of my life. And it was like, why did I go through this? Why did I go through that? Why did my lights get cut off? Why did I lose a car? Why did I almost face foreclosure? Why these things happen? And I was just hitting the wall. And I said, and it was like God was speaking to me saying, I brought you through those things so you can take people away from it. Now that you know what it's like to lose a car, now that you know, because I know what it's like to walk outside and the car is gone out of your driveway. Yeah. Right? It's not a good feeling. Yeah. I know what it's like to get that letter in the mail that your house has been foreclosed. I know what it feels like. Like I still have that stench in my nose of the basement of the courthouse when I was there and they're looking at my name plastered on the wall that was the foreclosure date coming.
What is up? Welcome back to the CA Power Player Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins, and today I'm back in studio. You guys know I freaking love when I'm in studio, and I'm not talking just in studio. I'm talking with literally one of the legends in the insurance industry. Like, you should see his watch, you should see his ring, you should see all the things he's doing, man, and his business and what he's most proud of. Before I get into this cat, man, what he's most proud of, and I've heard him talk about a lot today, is the amount of agents that he has been able to take from homelessness or fast food or just not making money to becoming a six-figure earner, which is truly incredible. Also, if you're coming to 8%, you can catch him at 8% 2024 live on stage. Please welcome the creator of the 7 Steps. He has an unbelievable system to help agents follow 7 steps and change their life forever. As we're chatting, you can click the link in the description below and go to Eric7steps.com to learn more. Please welcome the creator of the 7 Steps. I've been hearing about a ton, the Eric Howard.
Appreciate it, man. Thanks, man. Thanks.
Thank you,
Glad to be here. First time in Missouri.
What?
Yeah.
The
first
whole
time
state?
in Missouri. Yeah.
Dude, amazing. You're out of North Carolina?
North Carolina. Born and raised.
Always been there. Yes. I love that. Do you know what's cool? I want to share this really quick. I was texting a group of guys the other day, and I said, hey, I can't make this meeting. I've got a big time buddy of mine coming in town. They said, who is it? I said, it's Eric Howard. They said, oh, that's the 7 Steps guy. Dude, I've been hearing about that for years. Right. Which is crazy that so many insurance agents are learning about this. But even more importantly, so many agents are doing so well with it. Like, I think that's freaking amazing along the way, you know.
Man, we're having fun with it. It's been a great ride, if you would. I'm about to celebrate 30 years in the industry this September.
Dude, let's go.
2024, and I say it all the time. I use castor oil and stuff, and so I know I look like I'm like 19. But in actuality, what's crazy is when I look back, like my timeline of my life, it's like over half of my life has been in this industry. Wow. So, there's been a lot of ups and downs in the industry, and what I've been fortunate enough to do is, be able to mentor and coach agents out there, the pitfalls to stay away from. Yeah. Because I've already went through the foreclosure process. I already had my car repossessed, and I saved my home from foreclosure, but I went through that process. So I know how scary it is.
What does that feel like to go through that? Like, what's your story, man? Do you come from money? Did your previous generations make 7 figures like you do? Like, talk to me.
My father was a hard worker. He was a sheriff deputy, and then went into building homes, painting and stuff, and became a building contractor. So I grew up on somebody's roof, right? I grew up painting and things like that, digging footings, you name it. Hardcore stuff. Footings, yeah, footings. Like the foundation. I'm country guy, so I say footings.
Well, I'm from Arkansas, but I don't know anything about building a house.
When you dig the foundation, and all this stuff had to get inspected and stuff, and you have to do all these things. And so I played basketball in high school, but during the summer we've
got that in common.
Exactly, we're gonna play.
We've got to, bro. But you guys got to put your money in the comments.
Yes.
EH or CA.
Come on now. Who you think going to win? Now, I'm 48 years old. You're 33.
Yeah.
And we're going to play ball before 8% Nation. I'm going to come in a couple of days before. Okay.
All right. Now, I will definitely win. However, when you were 33, He may have gave me I don't know. He may have dunked all over me. I don't know, bro. Are you still dunking at 33?
Just remember.
I'm not dunking anymore.
Just remember, you reach, I teach.
Okay. All right.
I will cross you
I
up.
will steal the ball. I can tell
Okay.
you.
All right. We're going to see. So, guys, y'all put it in the comments who you think going to win. So,
I love that.
You know.
You could dunk back in the day.
No. I was a short guy. I'm only 5'8", 5'9". I couldn't jump. No.
Okay.
But I had the handles.
Muggsy Bogues, Spud Webb.
Yeah. I got the handles. Still got the handles. But you should see my boys. My boys can play. 8 and 7 years old.
Dude,
Ethan
how cool
and
is
Elijah
that?
can play, man.
I couldn't.
Gosh.
I could barely dunk a little bit in high school, but in college, I started doing insanity and started lifting, and working out a lot.
Yeah.
And I got to where I could.
You start dunking?
Throw it down pretty good. Yeah.
That's all right. As a point guard, that's strong.
In college, I got to where I could literally take one step, go up off 2 feet, and dunk with 2 hands.
And guys, he's taller than me too. So
I am 6'1". I am 6'1".
Yeah, I'm 5'8", 5'9". I've shrunk a little bit with my age, you know.
You were a point guard too, or shooting guard? Yeah.
Point guard.
Point guard.
My daughter
versus point
Deja,
guard.
she played when she was little, crushed
Wow.
it. I mean, the Howards just got these handles. Just
You had 3 kids?
4.
4 kids.
Yeah.
What ages?
Two girls, 2 boys.
Cool,
and so
man.
starting at age 23 all the way down to 7.
Wow. I grew up with 3 younger sisters, so my parents had 4 kids as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 3
But yeah,
siblings.
so you know, the system, you know, I went out and did it myself first. But what's happened down through the years is that I did not come from wealth. And my father started making good money.
Yeah.
But, you know, I started off in a single-wide mobile home, you know, and then saw him grind and work hard. And next thing you know, we was in a 2-story house, you know what I mean? And so just knowing and understanding his mentality of being a boss, being the leader. And I remember asking him, you know, who do you work for? He said, son, I work for myself. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. Okay, so that's why we get to leave the house at this time and come back whenever we want to. And so I'm like, that's pretty cool. I said, at some point, I want to do the same thing. But I decided I didn't want to take over the family business as construction, you know. And
what age was that, though, when you were first thinking about, like, entrepreneurship a
probably
little bit?
12.
Yeah.
Between 10 and 12 years
I
old.
can relate to that.
Yeah.
We have similar stories so far because, like, I started looking at the industry because of my dad. You know?
But see, I didn't know it was going to be the insurance industry. So when I decided I'm going to go to college, you know, I was like, I'm going in for business management. I want to learn how to run and start my own business, how to be successful in business, because my goal, even at 18, was 17, 18 years old. Like, I want to become a millionaire before 40. Can I make that happen? And it wasn't till I saw, and I came up with that because I remember being on vacation somewhere, maybe at Myrtle Beach or something, and I remember this older gentleman sitting beside me on the thing, and we sat by the pool, and he was asking me what I do and stuff, and I'm in sales, and he said, yeah, well, just keep working, son, and you know, like me, after you put in 40 years, you get to travel the world. And when this guy got up, he was like, you can hear bones popping and everything and stuff, and I looked at that, I'm like, no, that's not the life I want to live. I don't want to be 65, 70 years old, just now retiring, and now I get to enjoy life. Why can't I enjoy life in my 30s and 40s? So I set a goal and said I want to become a millionaire before 40, and I missed it by 1 year. So I didn't hit $1 million in income until 41 years old. So I'm not upset about it, but because I did have a goal in the first place.
It would have been much later or never happened if there hadn't been a target.
You got it.
Right.
Exactly. Cool. So, you know, the fact that I had a lot of ups and downs in the business, you know, it constantly. I mean, I signed up with the wrong companies. There was a lot of things I didn't know. No one taught me anything. No one was mentoring me.
How often does that happen? Like in the industry, do you think where someone gets started, they're not a great fit where they first pick, or they get no help, no training? I know you guys can relate to this when you're listening. That's why I like that what you do with the 7 steps, just because most people have no clue what steps to take.
Right. More than you can think of. I mean, it happens every day. People are constantly signing contracts. When you're brand new, you just don't know anything about the industry.
You have no idea.
You get a contract, you read it, but you still don't know. There's a lot of things in there you need to know. And once I start mentoring and coaching someone, and I start telling them about, look within this in your contract and see if it says this, and they go, no, it wasn't in there. They took it out. And I explain what that means. You know, for example,
that's a good point.
You need to be vested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of agents don't know what that actually means. And vested means
for a long time. Yeah.
And the way I explain it to people is very simple. And some of you that may be brand new to the industry, you need to find out whatever company you're going with. It doesn't matter to me, but you need to find out, are you vested or not? Because that's the difference between, as you build residual income in this industry, you need to put in your contract who you want that money to continue going to.
Yeah.
If you die, or if you leave that company and go to another company or get out the industry altogether, right? But still licensed. But what happens is a lot of companies says, well, you're not vested for 10 years. You're not vested with us for 5 years or even 2 years. Okay. But what happens if you build this residual check up to $10,000 a month?
I've heard 10 years too.
10 years,
by the way.
Yeah, 10 years.
Yeah.
And so what happens if in your 7th year, 8th year, something happens, you pass away, and you built this nice residual check of $10,000 a month coming in, and you pass away? Do you want that to go back to your children, or do you want it to go back to the company? No one says, I want to go to the company.
Yeah,
Everybody says, I want to go to my children, my wife.
Skip my family.
Yeah, exactly. Skip my family, right? Right? But guys, that was you out there running the street, running hours and hours and hours to drive, to go sit down with a client, making the phone calls, dialing for hours, right? You made it happen, and you're trying to build generational wealth. That's what this business is all about, okay? And so, but what happens is, because your contract didn't say that you was vested, it goes back to the company.
Yes.
So when I start teaching these things, and there's so many more things that I talk about.
Well, can I share that too? Like, there's so many things that you talked about earlier that you do in your coaching program that I was completely unaware of. Like, some of the things you were sharing, I'm like, oh, that's really good. Or, oh, I've never heard of that before. Or, ooh, I've heard it, but that's a different spin than the way I've heard it previously. That's just experience. Like, for those listening, like, you need to plug into someone with experience that can help you get to the next level. Like, they watch our content, but a lot of times they need a little bit more than just our content. They need like someone to really mentor them.
Right.
Like, did you have mentors through this thing, or did you have to like figure it out the hard way? Or
early on, I had a mentor that was great, and then as I moved on, he moved on, and
Got it. Yes.
And then I became a mentor. And again,
Correct.
When I look back, I think it was my 10th year anniversary with one particular company I was with. I actually just kind of like went through it's like a timeline of my life, and it's like, why did I go through this? Why did I go through that? Why did my lights get cut off? Why did I lose a car? Why did I almost face foreclosure? Why these things happen? And I was just hitting the wall, and I said, and it was like God was speaking to me saying, I brought you through those things so you can take people away from it. Now that you know what it's like to lose a car, now that you know, because I know what it's like to walk outside and the car is gone out of your driveway. Yeah. Right? It's not a good feeling. Yeah. I know what it's like to get that letter in the mail that your house has been foreclosed. I know what it feels like. Like, I still have that stench in my nose of the basement of the courthouse when I was there and they're looking at my name plastered on the wall that was the foreclosure date coming, that they was going to announce my name. And I don't mean to be too detailed, but the amount of times that I went to the bathroom before they was calling out the list that was going to be foreclosed on, it was crazy, right? Nerves and just.
I just heard there's a name for that, and it's called nervous bladder.
Is it really?
No joke. This is weird to mention, but I literally
but it
just
didn't have nothing to do
it.
with the bladder, just letting you know. It wasn't the bladder side.
Okay. It's just, but like, before I speak.
Yeah.
If I like, I'll go pee 4, 5, 6 times before I speak. And
it happens. Yeah. It happens. But I know what it feels like to be in that position to where you're about to lose a home and you have children. And it's like, what we're going to do next and stuff. And I'm like, I went through all that so that you don't have to. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. So if I can teach that. So my motto for years have been, I became an IMO in 2019 because the company I was with for a lot of years, you were kind of limited to what state you could be in, and we only have like one state. And final expense, we crushed it, $7 million a year in production, did very well in one state. But, when the 7 steps kind of hit the airways and people start going, what is the 7 steps? How are they having so much success in one state? How are they doing so much production with a little $50 premium? And what we ended up doing was so many people was asking to join our organization. I want to be a part of your group. I want to be a part of your group. And I had to turn them down. I can't because I can't hire in those states. And so when things happened and it was the right opportunity, the right time, we became an IMO. So now I reached out to those people and was able to bring people in. And when they start learning the 7 steps, it's like, wow. And it made so many agents money. And because when people are stuck, they may buy leads, they buy a batch or two, they go write business, make money off of it, then they have to pay their bills.
Correct.
And then they have a little bit of money left over and can't go back and buy bills, buy any more leads. And so within the system, it's showing you how to create off of what you have. Prime example, I had an agent that I just started mentoring. The guy told me that he didn't have any more money to buy leads right now.
Yeah.
And I said, well, okay, well, how many clients do you have on the books right now that you could pick up the phone and call and say hello to, spark it back up again? He said, probably 80. I said, you have 80 policyholders right now? Wow. He said, yeah. I said, what's 8 times 4? He said, 320. I said, that's what you're setting on for leads right now. He said, what do you mean?
Yeah, 80 times 4 is 320.
I said, wow, that's a big number. Did the math, and I said, so if you go 320, I said, and you're brand new to the system, I said, I'm going to coach you through the system, and we're going to role play this, but you're going to close about 40% of that. He started doing the math. He said, what?
That's a lot.
I said, you're going to close 40%. I said, then you're going to get better and start closing 75 and 80% of those people. I said, but in this system, there are some guarantees. And in this business, it's all about getting in front of the next person. I need to tell my story. I got to get in front of the next person and tell what I do. Well, do you want to knock on doors all day? No, right? But that could be part of the system. Sure. That is part of the system, is while you're already in the neighborhood, go introduce yourself to some people, right? And make money that way as well. I did what I had to do. Maybe you're not in a position where you're facing foreclosure. But when you're facing foreclosure, you do whatever it takes legally, ethically, to make it happen and save that home.
100%.
And so when I bring this stuff, the system to people, and we're going through the system itself, and we're role playing, everybody has that aha moment, and it's like, man, I've been doing this. I think you said it. You was like, I never thought about that. Out of all the years, when you picked me up this morning, you said, correct. Man, I never thought about doing that.
Well, because you showed me a video this morning. We were in the car, right? Eric's hanging out for a couple of days, and I went and picked him up at his hotel this morning. That's 7:15.
Yep.
Came to the office, got here about 7:30. But on the way, you showed me this video. Cause I said, hey, talk to me about that one piece of the system. So it's the 7 steps. He said, here, watch this video. So I watched this video, and it was a guy that followed one of the steps in the system and was able to, for someone, I don't want to give too much away, I don't want to get specific, someone was able to hand him 35 leads.
Yep.
And I was like, dude, he didn't have to buy them. He didn't have to do anything.
Right,
he just was able to use one of the pieces of advice, connect, and one of the steps. And I'm sure there's more even to that step of one of the steps, right? And then had 35 people to talk to, and had like a whole list of people.
So I'm gonna give it to him. Cool. I'm gonna give him one. So in the system, one of the steps is called denial partners. Okay, and again, when I was desperate, facing foreclosure, I ran leads. Nothing wrong with getting leads. You got to get leads. You got to buy some leads because you got to get out there, okay? So never stray away from buying leads. However, it's things that I teach you to do off the lead, in the neighborhood of the lead, and on the way to the lead. So I started a process called denial partners. And because in the final expense side of things, and even on the mortgage protection, you have leniency with underwriting, some better than others. But in the final expense market, I was connected to certain companies that based on together, or maybe one company you're with, it doesn't matter, but I could cover anybody from 0 to 85 years old regardless of their health. Cancer, heart, stroke, it doesn't matter. So what I started doing was I said, you know what, who can't do that? And so I started networking with people out there, and I'm not going to name the companies right now, but I started networking with those companies, and the first probably 4 or 5 that I walked in, I just pulled up and said, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm one of those guys. I'm always the guinea pig, right? Yeah. And I'm a script writer. And I sit there in my car and I wrote it out and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna say that. And I walked in there and said what I had to say, whatever. And they said, nah, I'm good. I kicked out, right?
Yeah.
And got in the car and I realized based on my script, I made it from here to here.
Yeah. Before
they said no. So then from there down, I changed it and I kept going. Cool. Probably about the 6th one, they said, yeah, we need to talk. You're like, okay, come on back. And so I got better and better at it. So next thing you know, I'm up to 20 denial partners.
Wow.
Okay. And what it is, these agencies, these other companies, they cannot write certain things, and Correct. I could. And so I started training this to agents, and lo and behold, it's just like this person. He said he had to do a video and sent me and said, Eric, I thank you for the 7 steps, man. Like, this is crazy. Like, I just walked in, I had an appointment with my guy. I walked in, this guy gave me 35 denials, people that he could not write and turn down. And now I'm about to crush this thing. And so without having to buy another set of leads, and now I already know the numbers, he wrote a whole lot of those, right?
Yeah, because they already tried to get it. It wasn't a referral. It wasn't a lead. It was someone that was warm.
Yes.
From someone else in the business tried to get life insurance.
That's right.
And they were turned down.
That's right. I call it low hanging fruit.
Super.
It's right there. Just grab it. You know. And so it's things like that. And that's just one step.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I coach people through the verbiage training of this. Yep. We role play. I just had a guy before we came in here that that called me up. He said, hey, man, I want to thank you because this is what's going on. So I first called on these referrals that you taught me how to do. Okay. Not even going to say the name yet. But I started doing it. Was kind of nervous about it because I'm used to doing my own thing. But you told me get out of my own way. So guess what? I'm getting out of my comfort zone, getting out of my own way. And I picked up the phone and I called. And when I called, she said, who is this? And I told her my name. She was like, oh, yeah. And then she said my last name. She said, yeah. She told me he was going to call. And he was like, wait a minute, is this real? He said, wait a minute, is this real? And so they got to talking. Next thing you know, he said, I'm writing a policy on her.
Wow.
He said, like you said, there are guarantees in this system that happens. And he said, I never had that before. He said, so now I'm off to the races. It's on. That's
good.
And this guy has so many of these referrals that he's getting now because he has over 300 clients. And this works with Medicare. I don't care if you're doing Medicare, if you're a Medicare agent or life agent, this 7-step system is for everybody. Yeah. Okay. But it's just been so much success, and I love success stories. Like, I feed off of, my passion comes from your success. I want to hear everybody's success. I love text messages. I love the phone calls. I love the video content. I want to know where you came from and where you're at now and where you're going.
Correct. Correct. I can tell you do. Where's that come from too? Like, because also one other thing, like I thought about is, I'm sure there was some pieces of the script that allowed him to not just get one lead, but 35 denials, right? Which is really cool. Where does this, like, because I can tell when we spend time together, like, and with all the success you had, like, you could just go sit on a beach and do your thing, but you really do want to see other people win, which is really cool. We have that in common. I think that's why we get along so well. Where does that come from for you?
I think for me, it's just when God has blessed me and to have the lifestyle that I asked for. And one thing you got to understand, whatever you ask God for, just be prepared for what's going to happen, right? When you're going through things, it's like, well, that's everything you ask God for, right? To get to the other side. All that pain that you got to go through, all the turmoil, all the, the bumps in the road is to get to the other side. And everything you ask for is on the other side of that. And so, again, because I went through, because I do care about people, and I know what this industry has given me and my family. We get to go wherever we want to go, right? We live in North Carolina, and our boys, they love soccer. And we're taking them not to a camp in North Carolina, but we're going to Florida because we love Florida. But we know there's a really nice, awesome camp down there, and we're like, you know what? Let's take them to Florida and let them play there. They may get a chance to meet Messi. They may get a chance to, you know what I mean? So it's things that you want for your family. I'm doing it because of this system. And again, for the longest, my model has been I had to recruit and contract somebody, have them sign an NDA that they can't take my system elsewhere if they do go elsewhere. And it was only exclusive. And then people outside of that would hear about it, but I had to recruit you in order for you to do the system. Now I'm not recruiting anymore. Now I'm not doing that. So now I'm stepping away from that model and saying now I can just coach and train and mentor, which is what I really love to do, and don't have to worry about the production and don't have to worry about, what this carrier wants to do this and, and now I can just focus on helping you get better, helping you stay within the system that has worked for my family and watch you progress. Yes. And I don't want agents to get into a business that's pay me 7 figures to get out after a month or two because it's not working. Because maybe they signed up with the wrong company, maybe they signed the wrong contract, maybe they're not really looking at their script or practicing their script or whatever, and that's fine. But you always need a big brother to call on to say, hey, am I doing this right? What am I doing wrong? And I'll say, hey, record your presentation and send it to me. And I get it and I go, we need a lot of work. You didn't build any value. Yes. And I say, where's the 4 magical questions? What do you mean? I say, there's 4 magical questions that you need to be asking the client. And I'm going to teach you that. And when I taught these 4 questions, they go, oh my God, I never thought about that. When you ask these questions to the clients, it makes you the only logical choice. So if you want to, have super high persistency, 90, 95%, you have to ask the right questions and build that value. Because what I do and what I teach is in these 4 questions, when they start speaking, when you shut up and sit back and just let her speak to you now and answering the question, they're selling themselves. And then they won't let you leave without getting a policy.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so that's what I see all the time. And when I get feedback, I'm like, I was telling Dylan the other day, I said, I sat back and laughed sometime because I'm like, I can't wait till he call me back and see the results. It's going to be funny. I was like, just watch. And he called back and go, dude, like for real.
That's so cool.
I'm going to let you read this text. I'm going to let you read this text out loud. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Okay, right here. Of course, we're not going to say the person's name up there, but just read at the bottom. So here, I found this text just the other day where a guy texted me. That bottom, the blue is me, of course, and then at the bottom, just read what it says. This is a brand new guy.
It says, shut up, Eric. I got my first BEC appointment tomorrow morning at 10. So excited. She was expecting my call. The responses were exactly as you said they would be. Now I have to call the second EC and schedule that one for 11. Just in case the 10 runs a little later. Thank you again. This is incredible. Wow.
Boom. That's what I get.
That's awesome.
And this is a guy who's been struggling and was talking about going to get a job. I'm like, no, don't do it yet. Hold on. Do this first.
Yes.
And when I get those text messages, I'm like, yes,
so
gotta
cool.
know. He did it. He did it. And now he's like, man, I'm writing business. I never wrote this kind of business before. And now he's steady writing business. So, and what I love about the system, Cody, is that a lot of systems is one of those that you have to prime the pump. You have to get started now, this month, and then you're going to start seeing the fruits of your labor in a couple of months.
Sure.
This was like day 3.
Wow.
After the first coaching call, when we started, he went and started.
So this information is applicable very quickly.
Very. Within a couple of days or whatever, you're getting deposits. You're seeing results just like that. And that's why he was like, Eric, shut up. Like, this ain't real.
He did.
Like, this can't be. Like, this ain't real.
That's cool, dude. I love that. I've always said, man, plugging into a system is one of the absolute best things you can do. And most business owners, entrepreneurs, they fly by the seat of their pants. They're not following a system.
Right.
And a system can make it to where it's a legit process that you follow on a weekly basis, which is really cool. That's amazing, man. If they want to learn more about the 7-step system, what do they do? Where do they go?
They need to click the link below. That's right, for sure.
Man. Amen.
Yeah.
And then from there, obviously they can learn more. They can actually join the 7-step system.
That's right.
And spend a lot more, like obviously learn a lot, but also spend more time with you as well.
Hey, stay right where you're at, whatever company you're with. No one's trying to move you and push you somewhere.
That's right.
Stay right where you're at. We just help you enhance what you're doing. Cool. I help with verbiage training. Now, also within the coaching side of things. So in the licensing, when you do the licensing of the system, you get the whole entire system in itself. You get the scripts, you get the video content that go along with it. But if you're wanting the coaching that goes along with it, the role playing, okay? But not only do I coach within the system itself, but there's other things I help with as well, such as, how to close 90 to 95% of every prospect that you have, how to close that many people.
Wow.
Right? Then also how to keep your persistency above 90%. Okay, that's a big thing right there because again, the business that stays is the business that pays, right?
Correct.
So we teach these things on our calls. I also have a panel of people of experts that can help you with different things. So those that worked my credit, I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. But I don't want any of my mentees with bad credit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's things that I teach the things that I did wrong. Okay. My first year working this system, I went from 28,000 in income to 105 my first year. The second year was 161. The third year was 328. The fourth year was 423,000, and then the fifth year was 538,000. In that fifth year of working this system, made over $500,000. That was the first time I decided that I need to get my credit fixed.
Wow.
I need to, and I looked at it and I said, wait a minute, Uncle Sam, I'm taking a lot of money here. Like, whoa. And so I became a business. So I'm finding so many agents that there's not a business. They're just themselves. And it's like, you're going to get eaten up. And so I'm coaching them on things to do, because what happens is IMOs, managers, they can care less of what you do with your money. They can care less about you really building generational wealth. They want to teach you just go write business, get some leads, go to write business, and that's it.
Make money.
Production, right?
Yeah.
So, and these are things that I would teach my own personal agents. But because of the model that I had, being the CEO of my own, IMO, my wife and I had to, be on calls with the actual carriers, with, problems with agents, things that's going on legally and things like that. I had to take care of those things. So I couldn't do the mentoring and the coaching that I wanted to do. And I'm like, okay, I have agents that made the company trip. I got agents that I presented the 6-figure ring to, but they're still struggling financially. Why?
Yeah.
Why is your credit score still 500? You're earning 6 figures. What are you doing? What are you thinking? So it's those things. People say, I want to build generational wealth. Okay. How long have you had your trust open? You have a trust account, right? You have a house in your trust. You have what? I need to talk to this person. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm connecting them. I'm a resource.
Correct.
I'm connecting them with the people that can enhance it. Now, if they're ready to move forward right then and there or not, that's up to them.
Yeah.
But at least I'm giving you some structure. That's what I'm all about, is giving you some guidance, some structure, some concrete things to walk away from and say, we don't have anything in order. We have to get it in order now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. 7 steps to 7 figures, man. I love it.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. 7 steps to success.
It's incredible, dude. I appreciate all you're doing. I'm excited to see you also present at 8%, which is going to be amazing. And the fact that you care so much to like put this in a system that can help people means the world. I think that there's so many agents that need help. And I mean, 92% fell, but if they all had 7-step system,
Yep.
be much higher success rate.
We're going to make a prediction at some point.
Okay.
With 8% Nation and the 7 steps, you're going to have to change your name.
That's right.
Because
I believe you.
If we can,
I hope so. I mean, I don't know. That'd be a whole new branding deal, but I hope so, man.
No, I mean,
it's cool though, because it shows progress.
Yeah, I think that, and I think that's something that we should start doing. Every 12 months, we take a look at what we've done together, and to see that number continually to drop.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
92% failed that first year to 91% to 90% to 89%, and to know that we had something to do with it. That's big. That's the thing. I could, like you said, I could sit back. I could be at the beach somewhere. I could be on a yacht somewhere, whatever.
Correct.
But that's not who I am. No. I'd be bored to death. You know what I mean? I want to know that I helped somebody succeed. Maybe that's my ego. I don't know. But I want to see people be successful.
Yeah,
and
you do.
A career that's all I know, right? Over half of my life has been doing this business. And so when I can teach somebody, stay away from this type of situation, don't do it this way, don't do it that way, it really helps.
It's a lot more than just making money. Like, it's teaching them business in a lot of different ways. And a lot of people don't get that education when they just become an agent.
Yeah.
So it's so good.
And in this system as well, so we have a package deal that you can, if you're just an agent and you're wanting to be just an agent, that's fine. Then you get the 7 steps, you get all that, right? And we coach you through those things. But if you're an agency, oh gosh, that's a totally different animal.
It's awesome.
Totally different animal. You got to learn how to grow. You got to learn how to brand yourself. You got to learn how to market yourself. You got to learn how to, the right poses to do. You got to know how to recruit and bring people to your opportunity meeting. How do you fill those seats up?
Yes.
We've had hundreds of people in one location, and it's like, well, how did you do it? Awesome. And so what I did was I went through my whole archive database of every template that we sent out in emails, what worked, what didn't work. And so we kept what worked right?
cool.
All the verbiage is there. And so when I have agencies that I'm mentoring, when they get that package deal, they get the 7 steps, but they also get the agency builders program too. And because they're getting everything I ever done, right? Every email template. So they can say, now I say, look, change out my picture to yours, change out my color to your color, put your logo on it, put your brand on it, but use the same verbiage and watch what happens. And I'm getting feedback.
It's cool. Man,
the amount of people that's getting these seats, like I'm filling up the room. This is crazy,
That's awesome.
I even showed them what to do when you get to the opportunity meeting, what you should show on the as your slide presentation. I simply say, here,
that's big.
It's yours now. You bought it. It's yours. And now one thing you have to do is have your person to go through and change out the content as far as your branding. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the templates is there of everything that worked for me and how I grew, 250 agents at one time in my agency. I have all the documentation, and now it's yours. It's my gift to you. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
So another thing that I think that really has helped agents out that's very dear to me is the spousal support.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. How many IMOs, managers, uplines, whatever you want to call them, do you know that focuses on the spouses of the agent? It doesn't happen.
It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm trying to think of an answer. It doesn't happen.
Listen.
It's rare, right?
Listen, that spouse is more important than you think.
Oh my gosh, so important.
If I'm trying to help you double, if not triple your income in your first year, especially working the system, and you're just getting started, maybe you've had some bad times and things has happened, and it's going to happen, right?
Yes.
But when you've been taught mental strength, right? That mindset, keep going.
Yes.
Get your next batch of leads. Let's go. Do this, do that. Like, it's going to happen. You're going to have days where if you do the activity Monday through Thursday, you may not make any money Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, but because what you did Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday start transpiring on Thursday and Friday, now you done made $2,000, $3,000 for the week, right?
Yes, yes.
You're getting this from the conference calls. You're getting this from your mentor, but guess who's not getting it? Your spouse. But because you're the one that's not bringing in the money right this second, your spouse don't hear that. She don't understand that. He don't understand that. And so what happens is when you get them in front of us, when we get a chance to talk to them, and I have this into a slide presentation as well, to where I have the spouses get on.
That's cool.
We've brought them to different events, and they're ecstatic that we're even including them.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, you're talking about building generational wealth.
Yeah.
So why are they not included?
It is so important. Yes.
You know what I mean?
I think you're going to be touching on this even more at the conference.
Yes.
Which I'm super excited
I can't
about.
wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I want,
awesome.
Guys, if you're coming to 8%, which you should, bring your spouse.
Please.
Right?
Amen.
I mean, the tickets are running from what? How much? $90?
$90 to $900.
$90 to $900.
Yeah.
Listen, $900 to get the best seat, right? Is that like a VIP or something like that?
Yeah, fire.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
fire.
the fire.
Yeah. It is the VIP. Yeah.
You want fire, right? You want your success to be fire. What is $900? Now, one thing I do is I teach agents how to really break down numbers, right? If you're going for that incentive trip with the company and they say, oh, you got to write at least, 50,000 in production or whatever. Right. And you're looking at that. Some people mentally will quit.
Yes.
Mentally. I'm not even going for it. That's way too high. I got to do $10,000 a month for the next 6 months. That's $60,000 in production. I can't fathom that.
Correct.
So guys, I'm gonna give you something, and maybe I can have my man Dylan kind of put this on the screen beside me or something at some point. But I want you to see these numbers for a second, okay? I'm gonna break it down to you. This is my gift to you. For those of you that are going for your next incentive trip, I'm gonna take the number 60,000. You got to write $60,000 in production in the next 6 months, which is $10,000 a month, right? Now, what everybody does is they focus so much on the annual premium. That's a large number.
Yeah.
As I told you, I dropped out of college, right? So I don't like to see those type of numbers, right? Right?
Yeah.
So I'm not the smartest in the world, but I just kind of figure things out. So what I do is, the way I made my trips when I was out there writing business, I took the $10,000 in annual premium. That's what I need to do per month. Okay. You take the $10,000. I'm gonna get my calculator out. Okay, because I don't want to misspeak here. So you take the $10,000. That's the annual premium. Now divide it by 12. That means you had to collect and send to the carrier, the company, $833.33
of monthly premium.
Yeah,
each
right?
month. Yeah.
Now, how many weeks in a month? 4 divided by 4. That means each week you had to collect about $208. Let's just say $210 in premium to be a little over, right?
Yeah.
You had to collect $210 in premium. The average app in, let's just go at Final Expense, for example. The average app in Final Expense is about $50.
Sure.
So if I divide that by 50,
you're 4. Yeah.
4 apps.
Mm-hmm.
4 apps.
It seems so big, and then you're like, yeah.
So in my teaching program, what I do is I have a tracking sheet that has worked wonders for agents to hit every single incentive goal they were trying to get. If they was trying to get a 6-figure ring, they were trying to make the trip or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Because see, mentally, everybody can say, so you telling me, Eric, that if I just focus on $210 a week in premium, I'm going to Cancun. I'm going to Vegas. I'm going on that trip. Yes. Because the mind wants to break it down smaller.
Yes.
10,000 is too big to keep focusing on, and you will lose a lot of agents. I teach it to agencies as well.
You will.
You're going to lose a lot of agents. They won't even be considered going to the actual event. I can't make that.
Yeah.
But $210 a week, that's obtainable.
I can do that.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so what I do is on the tracking sheet, I teach them that at the top of the page, I call it the decline and balance method. At the top of the page, you're going to put $210 up there. And you take it with you. You have it on your clipboard in the car. Don't wait till you get home. Have it in the car. And I'm talking to field agents. You do the same thing if you're a telesales agent, that you need to have a dry erase board in your office behind you. So every time you write an application, you get up from your desk and you go subtract it on the board from the $210, right? If you're in the field, you have that clipboard on the passenger side seat. And every time you just finished writing Miss Betty a policy for $50, or you wrote husband and wife for $100 total, you get in the car, $210 minus $100. Oh my gosh. You see how fast it is?
Yeah.
And it does something to the mind that, wow, I don't have much left to go.
Yeah.
But if you don't know where you're at, you don't know where you're going.
You don't. That helps track it a lot.
You have to track yourself.
I could see you doing a really good job breaking this stuff down, like on Zoom or at events or different stuff. So if they want to learn more about the 7-step system, click the link below.
That's right.
And they can learn more.
That's right.
Dude, you're amazing. I've loved having you here. We could literally spend hours, because when this dude gets going, man, I'm telling you what, he can teach, he can coach. He has so much wisdom and knowledge over 30 years. Yeah, I'm extremely impressed. I love spending time with you, and I appreciate you bringing in Springfield Mo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
Glad
you,
to be
buddy.
here, man. Glad to be here.
Thank you guys for hanging with us. Go check out what he's doing, man. Click the link below for eric7steps.com. You have made it this far, and I'm telling you, dude, like, you need to come see this cat at 8% Nation and hang with us. You can go to 8%nation.com and learn more about seeing Eric on stage. Make sure to click the link below and check out his 7 steps. Have an amazing day. Appreciate you hanging with us, and we'll see you on the next episode of the Power Player Podcast. Adios.